Hi guys, been going through my junk pile again. Seem to have plenty of time to do that sort of thing at the moment. Found this. I've gone back and checked my old videos. Cost me £2.49 in a charity shop. It's labelled Gold Light, although some of the other videos I found on the same radio controlled submarine are titled Happy Cow. This one, the original label on it is Maplin's. They went out of business quite a few years ago, and I remember when I bought this in a charity shop, or at least when I got it home, I tried it out, and although I got the batteries in there, it wouldn't take charge. And I tried to get it apart to see if I could change the batteries in it, and I failed totally. You'll have to have a look in the video description for the link, or it might even be up here somewhere at some time or other. Yeah, I totally failed to get it apart. I broke lots of bits off trying to get it apart. That little rubber bung there is supposed to go in the end here to stop the water getting in the charging port. You just charge it by putting the power in there. I did manage to, it was all corroded in there, I did manage to clean it up enough to actually get the red light shining to indicate it was taking charge, but it didn't actually charge up. I did manage to get these bits off in the original video, but I didn't manage to get any further. So I broke off lots of bits of trim trying to get it apart, but I did eventually manage to get this far. In fact, looking at that, I was lucky to get that off, because that's a screw in there, and it must be hidden underneath that piece that's glued in place. So that's pulled off, and that one I unscrewed. If we look in there, should be able to see there's obviously a motor in there with a pinion gear just there that turns a crown gear just there that spins a little propeller that makes it go up and down, and then at the back there must be two motors there for the two propellers at the back there. So I would guess it's got proportional steering, whatever you want to call it, or skid steer. In other words, one turns and it goes that way, and that one turns and it goes that way, and if they both go together it goes forwards. Looks like you've got a trim propeller there, trim rudder there. It's not moved by the radio control, but you can adjust it, I guess. That's broken as well. I really did rough it up quite a bit trying to get it apart. Anyway, today, having found it again in my junk pile, I thought that bit there and that bit there, little clips that sort of are held in place by the top, I can actually lift them a little bit, and when I lifted them a little bit, it all started to come apart at the front here, and there we are. So I really struggled to try and get it apart, and I completely messed it up all around the edge there where I was trying to force it apart last time back in 2016, and yet today I've done it with no trouble at all. So that's our radio receiver there, that's the aerial, that's the charger plug, that's the LEDs, and that's our three 1/3 size AAA batteries. They'll be NiCad, I should think, nickel metal hydride, nickel cadmium, and the chances of getting a matching set for that are nil, I would think. They're probably specifically designed for this little submarine. So after, what is it, 2016, 2017, yeah, 4 years, I finally managed to get it apart. So if they're 1.5 volt each, so that's 4.5 volts. So if I connect 4.5 volts on there, the right way round, I guess that's positive and that's negative, we might at least be able to see it working. I think that's fascinating because I did have a video in the list, I've got a playlist for this, so check the video description, there'll be a playlist for it. There was one guy who actually took a Dremel to it and cut it all apart so he could see inside. I think that video doesn't exist anymore, funnily enough. But yeah, so all the back end looks like it's all glued solidly in place, and the front end is held in place with this little, I just think that's silicone ring that was holding that in place, and these two little clamps or clips were what were stopping it coming apart. I'm just amazed. I mean, that looks all rusty. I think it's all got wet in there anyway. But I will try, I'll see if I can clip some power on there and see if we can actually see it running, which we never managed to see before. Might not be able to, because looking at that, that is a bit corroded. Let's see what we can do. Right, well, we got good news, bad news is the usual case. Let's see if we can just prop that up that way so you can see the voltage. If I go on that battery, we've actually got three and a half volts coming out of it. Now, fair enough, 1.5, 3, 4.5, we ought to be having 4.5 volts out of it, but I would have expected some result with that sort of voltage in it anyway, so they may not be totally dead. But it wasn't working, was it? So we'll try yeah, that's definitely positive. So positive there. Let's just measure the voltage before we connect it up. Right, 2.6. That's just on 5 volts, which should be enough for a fully charged 4.5 volt nickel cadmium. So that's the full voltage. So I reckon the receiver's gone as well. That's a shame. It would have been really nice to have seen it working after all these years. There's no on-off button or anything. Oh, unless it needs to get... somebody told me they thought it had to be in water for it to actually start working. But I don't see any sensors on there that will actually detect water. Just do a bit of measuring. Yeah, voltage is... Oh, what happened there? We had a little flash of light just then. Probably didn't see that on camera, did you? Right, I know this is against the rules, but I do happen to have the instructions with the box. And reading through it, it talks about, after charging, if you won't play at once, please insert the switch pole. Preventing the power of the batteries is consumed slowly. Okay, what does that mean? What it means is, in the front here, where we charge it, when you pull that out, the contacts should make. When you push that in, you break the contacts and the battery is being charged by the external supply. When you pull that out, two little spring contacts should make contact for the battery to then power the receiver board. So when that's in, that's automatically breaking the circuit, and when it's out, the circuit is live. And to prevent the battery running down, there should be a little plug that you push in there that breaks the circuit. So with a little bit of well, just working it out, that pin there and that pin there, which you really can't see because I'm just pointing, those are what should make contact when the little spring makes contact. So if I short them together, look, we've got LED lights, and if I hold that in place, if I can, and press one of the buttons, that motor's running. We had more working just now. Why does that stop working? Yeah, I need to do something to hold that steady. Give that a little turn, because that one was working just now. It doesn't want to work now. Why don't you want to work? Alright. Well, that one was working just now. But now that I'm trying to demonstrate, it doesn't want to. The other buttons aren't working. Ah, that's why that isn't working. That wire's fallen off. I haven't got enough fingers to do all this. Hold my finger on there. Hold that on there. Yeah, that's the other one. Can't see it but because my fingers are in the way, but that's the up and down one. The wires have fallen off. So that one works if I hold my finger on that button. So that works. Well, I thought I'd finished, but I've done a bit more. I've charged it using the charging module. So red light comes on, it is charging. It's not fully charged, the other light should come on when it's fully charged. If I take that out, I put a little switch on there to make the contact that we need it to make. So LEDs come on. So now that's the up and down motor. But we've still only got that one. It doesn't go backwards. I was just testing with an LED. If I go across there, turn it the other way. So that's the up and down motor. The bottom one here is the other one that is working. But if I turn that the other way, we're not getting any output. So it's not the motor that's faulty, it's the output from the receiver. And the same on the other one. So we're not getting any output from there. So that's probably the little, if it has got separate H bridges on it, unless everything's on that one chip, which is quite possible. I can't really see the back of the board. I can undo those screws, but those LEDs are actually through the plastic and I can't lift the circuit board off the back plate to actually check what's on the back of the board. I know, I can't leave it alone, can I? I had to go a step further. It wasn't as hard as I thought to take the circuit board off the back plate. In fact, it came apart quite easily. So this is the back of it, and these are our H bridges. 3 H bridges for the 3 motors. So I suspect, well, I don't know, it could be that they're dead, some of them, or it could be, I mean, they look sort of brown and corroded, but that could quite easily just be the, looks like they put them in sort of hot glue or something to waterproof them. That could just be discoloration. But if I was really keen, it would be possible to desolder all of them. All nicely lined up, if we could identify what they are. Or it could just be the output from here. Oh, that wire's come loose now. That's one of the motor wires. that is not an ordinary RX2 chip. That's something a little bit different, bespoke. (2007) date on there.
Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.